Hello, and welcome to Stories from India, a podcast where we talk about myths, legends, and folk tales from India. I'm your host, Narad Muni, and I'm a mythological character myself. I have the gift of eternal life and knowledge of the past, the present, and the future. By profession, I'm a traveling musician and a storyteller. So the way I'm doing my job is by podcast. In today's mini episode, we'll meet the god of fire. We are talking, of course, about Agni. You may have seen the picture of a god sitting on a ram, all bright and red and in flames. That's Agni. But don't worry, the ram is flame resistant. I'll do one small story of Agni this time. It starts with one of the 7 Hall of Famer rishis, called the Saptarishis. And that rishi was Brighu. Brighu was off one morning to take a bath. And like all baths in ancient India, this one was in a river. He left his wife alone back home. His wife, Puloma, was expecting their child. Brighu did leave a fire going outside. But don't worry, there was no risk of burning down the neighborhood. Because back then, fires did not spread the way they do now. And that's for reasons that will soon be clear. While Puloma was sleeping inside, who should pass by outside but Puloma? Yes, this was another Puloma. But he actually knew the other Puloma. Puloma and Puloma had previously been engaged. Talk about a confusing married life for the two. A misunderstanding ultimately broke off their engagement. But Puloma, the guy, had not forgotten Puloma, the girl. When he was passing by, he happened to notice Brighu and Puloma's names on the mailbox. His memories came flooding back. He wanted to verify if this was the very Puloma that he knew. Instead of ringing the doorbell and checking like a normal person, Puloma asked the fire outside, "Hey, Agni, just wondering if, the lady inside is the Puloma I used to know?" The fire did not respond. Of course, who heard of a talking fire? But when he asked again, this time Agni did respond. He confirmed. He also strongly cautioned Puloma, the boy, against doing anything about it. But Puloma did do something about it. He barged in and abducted the pregnant woman. But as he was dashing away, Puloma, the woman, gave birth. The baby had some special powers. The moment it was born, Puloma was incinerated. I mean, the bad guy was incinerated, not the mom. That would have been terrible. So when Brighu returned and heard everything that had happened, instead of hugging his baby and congratulating his wife, he thought it was more important to play the blame game. And he knew exactly whose fault it was. He decided based on some crazy logic that it was all Agni's fault. And so, he cursed Agni to consume everything around him. That's why fire spreads. It totally got out of control, and Agni had to withdraw from public life. That was a step backward for civilization generally. So my dad, Brahma, decided to do something about it. He tweaked the curse so that Agni gained some purifying abilities. In some versions, Agni is the son of Brahma, just like me. Agni has 6 hands and 3 legs and 2 heads. Because why not? The heads signify life and immortality. Agni's wife is Swaha, a name you may recognize from many Indian ceremonies. It's a name that is invoked in front of the fire. That's all for this mini episode. In this weekend's full episode, we are back with part 2 of Hari Potbreaker and his final showdown with the wizard Voldemort. If you have comments or suggestions, please leave a comment or a review on the site sfipodcast.com or tweet at sfipodcast. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook. Be sure to subscribe to the show to get notified automatically of new episodes. Thanks to all of you listeners for your continued support and your feedback. The music is from purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com. I'll see you later.